The next part of the lesson 5 is transportation. Transportation, you all know that it is a system in which the passengers and goods are carried from one place to another. So, it is a lifeline of a country. So, earlier, before this transportation was being introduced, man used foot for moving from one place to another, or used animals for transport. So, in this clipping, you can see the means of transport. That is the different kinds of transport. One is the land, water, and the third one is the air. So the land transport includes roadways, railways, and pipelines, and the water transport includes inland waterways, ocean routes. The air transport includes domestic airways and international airways. So let us begin with the land transport. In that, the first one will be the roadways. So roadways, through road, when we move from one place to another, is called as roadways. So it is a important one which helps in carrying goods and passengers for short, medium, and long distances. And it is also very easy and cheap to construct and to maintain the roads. So it is used by all the sections of people in the society, right? So in India, the densest road, so roadways also has densest and very least roads are there. So densest roads are easy to, is found in the northern plains, in the northern states. In mountainous regions and all, it is very quite difficult to construct roads. So for the purpose of construction and maintenance, roads are classified into national highways, that is NH roads, state highways, SH, district roads, rural roads, border roads, and international highways. So these are the different types of roadways. Next comes the railways. So it is a main artery of the country's inland transport. That is how artery is very essential for transportation of blood from one place to another in our human heart. The same way, Indian Railways acts as a main artery in the country's inland transport. It is also considered as the backbone of the transport system. So it brings all the people together by providing a national integration, and it also moves bulky product, that is very big movement of bulky movements of products of perishable goods also will be moved from one place to another. So they also transport raw materials to industries and finished goods to markets. So Indian Railways, this network is the largest in Asia and second largest in the world. So on the basis of width of the track, railways track, based on the width of the track, Indian Railways fall into four categories. They are broad gauge, meter gauge, narrow gauge, and light gauge. So these are the types of the tracks in which the trains are moving from one place to another. So that is based on their width. So apart from these things, we have metro railways in India too, isn't it? So there are 8 cities with metro rail connectivity in India. So they are Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Jaipur, and Cochin. So it is also called as MRTS, that is Mass Rapid Transit System. So this kind of metro railways are there in India. So next comes the pipeline transport. So pipeline transport is very a convenient mode of transport to connect oil and natural gas fields. That is wherever they are getting oil and natural gas, so pipelines will be there in order to move these oil and natural gas from one place to another, that is from the field to the refineries and to the markets. So in the past and all, they were used to transport water to cities and industries. These pipelines was used to transport water to cities and industries. Now solids are also they are transporting in the pipeline. So initial cost of laying it is very high, but cost of maintaining it is very low. That is, the cost of maintaining the pipeline is very low. Next comes the waterways. So you all know that waterways, it is the most important mode of transport both for passengers as well as for cargo. That is big um, cargoes, they move from one place to another. So it is the oldest and the cheapest means of transport, and it is suitable for carrying heavy and bulky materials. So we have two important types of waterways. They are inland waterways. Second one is the ocean waterway. So inland waterway, from the name itself you can identify inland, inside the land. So inside the land, the water will be in the form of rivers, canals, lakes and backwaters. So depending upon the depth and width of the waterways, as well as the continuity of the water flow, this kinds of inland waterway will be there. So next is the oceanic routes. That is through oceans, they move from one place to another. So coastal shipping, it is an important role in the transportation of bulk goods in India. So one country to another country. The sea and oceanic routes are mainly used for international trade. So at present there are 13 major and 200 minor ports in India. So the major ports are administered by the central government, as well as the minor ports are managed and administered by the state government. So next comes the air transport. So it is the quickest, costliest and most modern and comfortable means of transport. Why? Because it connects the national, regional as well as the international scale. It not only connects, the carries the passengers, it carries freight as well as mail too. So in times of emergency, that is during natural calamities, this air transport plays an important key role during floods, epidemics and war. In 1953, different airlines were in operation, and the country, that is in 1953 only, 8 different airlines were in operation in the country which were nationalized. So we have two different types of airways, that is domestic, which flies within the boundary of a country, then international airways, which connects major cities of the world, international. So Indian Airlines, you would have noticed this name, Indian Airlines. They provide the domestic services, air services. Air India, it provides international air services. The next comes the helicopter services. So that is given by Pawan Hans Helicopter Limited. So which is a public sector committee. It is a government owned committee, actually a joint venture of the government, and they give services to the petroleum sector, that is oil and natural gas and oil industries limited. So they are giving services to these petroleum sectors. Next, the one will be the communication. So it is a process of exchanging the information, thoughts and ideas. So that is called as communication. So we have two different types of communication. One is personal and mass communication. So personal communication is nothing but exchange of information between the individuals is called as personal communication. It may be through post or telegraph services or telephone or mobile phone or SMS, that is short message services, or fax or internet, email. So all these things comes under personal communication. That is direct contact with the people, that is with the user. India is one of the largest telecommunication networks in Asia. So telephone is the form of oral communication. Okay, so we have two important coverages, that is STD, telephone facility, that is subscriber trunk dialing, and that is for another one will be ISD. ISD is nothing but international subscriber dialing. So these are the two important facilities we have in India. So next is mass communication. So mass communication is nothing but it makes the people to get the information at the same time. All together will be getting the information at the same time. So it includes print media and electronic media. So electronic media is nothing but through through various electronic means, that is radio, television, internet. So all these things comprises of electronic media. Then the print media is nothing but through newspapers, magazines. So all these things comes under print media. So these are the two important medias in which mass communication works. Next is the satellite communication. So satellite, you all know that nowadays everything, for each and everything, satellite is very important. Why? Because in getting a continuous and synoptic view of larger area and all, we should need a satellite for the communication system. So satellite images are used for weather forecasting, monitoring of natural calamities, surveillance of border areas. So all these things are done by the ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization. So we have two important satellites. One is INSAT, another one is IRS. So INSAT is nothing but the Indian National Satellite System. So it was established in 1983. It is mainly for the telecommunication, meteorological observation, and for other programs. So this is used for giving signals to the television, telephone, radio, mobile phones, or all these things. Then the last part of this lesson will be trade. Trade is nothing but it is very important phenomenon for the economic growth of the country. That is, it is a process of buying, selling, or exchanging of goods and services. In those days, trade was in the form of barter system. That is, exchange of goods for goods, not on money. Later, what happened, since money was being introduced, so money was used as a medium of exchange for buying and selling of goods. So we have two important things in trade, that is imports and exports. That is, you all know that importing, getting it from another country, exporting, giving it to another country. So the difference in this value between the imports and exports is called as the balance of trade. So when there is an exceed of exports, when the exports exceeds the value of imports, then it is called as favorable balance. And the reverse portion, that is, if imports exceeds the value of exports, then it is an unfavorable balance. So finally, this trade is being classified into two. One is international, another one is internal trade. So internal trade is also called as domestic trade or local trade. So locally, that is domestically, within that boundary of that country, if any trade occurs, so that is called as internal trade. International is nothing but within other countries. So again, international trade is divided into bilateral and multilateral. So trading between two countries, bi means two, that is called as bilateral trade. Multilateral is nothing but trading between two or more countries. It is called as multilateral trade. So you all know about exports and imports. That is, they have given major exports of India. That is tea. That is what we are exporting. Marine products, ores, that is minerals, leather products, gems, jewels, sport goods, chemicals, and so many products. We are exporting a larger number of products. Why? Because India is full of natural resources. We have lots and lots of resources. Then what are the products will being imported to India? That is nothing but petroleum products, pearls, precious stones, semi-precious stones, gold, telecom instruments. So all these materials are being imported. So that's all for this lesson, children. Please go through the exercises what I have given and start learning. Start revising as well as start learning for your exams, children. Thank you.